Hi, in this video I'm going to be painting the rocker cover on the MX5 NB as well as replacing the VVT seals and gaskets. So I'm going to be stripping down the rocker cover ready to paint. So some easy stuff like oil cap. There's a bracket just on the end here for some wiring. The nail on this too. If we start with the VVT, so we'll start with the pipe. And then we've got two at the back. And this should lift off. So you've got one bracket at the back here. No, I think that's a 12mm. I'll do that in a second. There's a sensor on the top and another bracket. That's larger as well. Take the filter out for the VVT. I'm going to be replacing this anyway. So there's one more 10mm on the side. And this should pull out. Go on. Like so. Keep the bolt with it. And there's 4 on top. Luckily all the VVT stuff use the same size bolt. There we go. PVC. May need pliers of some sort. I have got a new grommet. So what else we got? There we go. Doesn't matter too much if I damage this grommet as it's being replaced. Behind the baffle plate. Right. So I've now removed the two brackets on the end, the 12 mils, the PCV grommet. Next is to mask up or clean up the underneath. Just going to mask around all the holes, just so I don't get paint in it. And then I can start the prep work. So that's the rocker cover now all masked up. Just move these bits out of the way. So yeah, I've masked up the holes and whatnot. So now to key it with a grey Scotch pad. Just going to try it with a drill attachment on the other side, just to see how well it comes up. This is a fairly new wire wheel, so I don't know how coarse it's going to be. So that's the rocker cover now wire brushed. Done the best I can. Would I like to have some more attachments to use to get into the smaller confined areas, but managed to get in there with the Scotch pad and a flathead screwdriver. So yeah, I'm just going to spray it with some brake cleaner, or you could use white spirit, I've got that as well. I'll clean the underneath and I'll remask these areas where I've caught it with the wire brush, and then it's good for primer. So that's the rocker cover prepped. So now start with some etch primer. So while that's drying, I'll clean up and mask up these bits so I can paint them, including all the little brackets. So that's the edge primer now finished, all dry. It's lovely and hot today, so it didn't take long to dry. Yeah, now for the base coat. So yeah, this is a type of paint I've never sprayed before, so yeah, it's all going to be a good experiment. So here's the final colour. So I start off with the etch primer, then a metallic base coat, which is a modified formula of BMW Titan Silver, I believe, that I mixed up from work, and then candy red, and then lacquer. Trying to get my shadow in it. It's not mint by any means, but certainly better than what it was. So as you can see, I've already started to put the PCV grommet sensor at the back. Don't actually know what that's for. I'm sure someone will tell me. Oil cap. So the surface for the VVT is now cleaned. So just got to wait for that bit to dry, along with the feed pipe, and then I can start reassembling. So it's time to rebuild the VVT. So I've got this kit from Boffy. It should have all the O-rings, copper washers, gasket, and a new filter. Everything that you need. So let's open up. So that's the filter. Obviously put that to one side for the time being. So all the gaskets that you need. So let's make some room and lay it out and have a look through them. So included is, where the camera will pick up, a diagram that shows you where everything goes, which is quite handy. So the first one, top left corner, the two small copper washers, they go on the other end of the banjo feed bolt, which go towards the oil filter. So I'm not going to replace those. The larger ones go for the banjo bolt, which connects to the feed pipe. That larger one goes on the end of the feed pipe, that one there. The smaller one goes on the control valve, and then the two black and two reddy brown ones go on the actual VVT itself. And you also have a gasket which sandwiches that part of the VVT, I don't know what it's called, to the rocker cover. So I'll start off by doing the control valve as it's here. So I've got myself a little pick. I did have a Stanley blade somewhere. Oh, there we go. Like that, so that's done. Next up, I'll do this bit. Apologies, I still don't know what it's called. Try not to bend the gasket. Grab my bolts. Oh, my apologies. Right, I'll do them up later. Annoyingly, when I missed a bit underneath, so when I flip this upside down, the lacquer still hadn't dried on top, and I've got 2 marks. Really annoying after I spent a lot of time doing that, but never mind. So pull that out. Control valve can be pushed in. There we go. So then next is the feed pipe. Forgot to mention, probably best to put some oil on the O-rings before popping them in. Here we go. So then the feed pipe can go on. So we'll take the masking tape off. Should have done this before really. Apologies, I'm getting ahead of myself. Right, so before the feed pipe goes in, I need to add filter. Like so. That just pushes in. So I'm terrible with camera angles. And then the 2 longer ones on the back. Also, don't forget the little P-clip. Probably best to do this before you bolt everything down. So the last part of the refresh of the VVT is to remove the actual VVT part from the rocker cover. So just grab the camera. So there's a 10mm bolt just there. You can do this with the rocker cover in situ, but as I've been painting, obviously do it like this. So go ahead and remove that, and we'll replace the 4 O-rings. So that took a little bit more wiggling and pulling than I anticipated. So with this in situ, I'll just grab some blue tissue roll over the top, and I had to wiggle it side to side and then eventually released. So with the O-rings, you got a black O-ring either end, and then the two brown ones are in the middle. So we'll go ahead and start off with these ones and then do the others. So that first O-ring, so brittle, it just broke in half. Moving on to the others. There we go. So before I put this back in, I'm just going to smear it with some oil and then we're good to go. So before the rocker cover can go on, I'm just going to clean up the remains of the old gasket or sealant, move all this, try and move some of this wiring a little bit out of the way just so there's a little bit more room, and then install the new gasket on the rocker cover and fit it. But actually before I do that, I'm just going to change or refit the spark plugs with new ones. Obviously you can do it with the rocker cover on, but I thought might as well with a little bit more room and less chance of damaging the paint. So that's the surface now all cleaned up. Ready for the gasket, lovely old job. So yeah, let's grab the rocker cover and finish this installation. Right, time for the gasket. Hopefully this paint is dry enough to fit it. Almost finding out. Here we go, all done. So I'll just put some sealant either side of the cams and at the back, as per the manual. So I'll put some either side. I've also put some a little bit round the bolt holes. So yeah, should be all good to go. Remove this. So the last thing for installation is to torque up the bolts, starting from this middle one, and then working towards the front of the engine, down towards the passenger, and then around a circle. This is 8 Newton meters. So the last major thing to do is to fit new copper washers onto the banjo for the VVT. Then it needs to be torqued down to 50 Newton meters. And there we go.